What's going on, guys? I'm back in bed. Um, Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to talk about in this video, but I felt like making a video. Um, Honestly, I don't know what to really talk about anymore because, I've fucking said everything that can be said. I got a fair few videos on this channel, and, like, I don't know, man. But, yeah, I still enjoy making videos and, well, here's the thing: is that less and less do I actually enjoy um, talking about things, talking about things like philosophically and with analogies and whatnot. Um, because like I said, I've said it all. Like I don't have anything new. I don't have anything new to say. Like, and anyway, the stuff that I've been saying in these videos, it has just been pretty much the same kind of shit, just saying it in different ways. And to be honest, I think I've said these things in the best way that I can say it. So I don't have any new things to say, and I don't have any better ways of saying it. So that's why I don't really make videos anymore, because it's I don't have anything. I don't have anything, man. Yet here I am making another video. So because sometimes it's enjoyable to to talk. And of course, down the road, I'm sure I will have new things to say, but it's just, less frequent as it used to be, I suppose, in the very beginning when I started this in late 2019, I started because I had a lot of shit on my mind that I wanted to express. And now I'm doing less and less videos because I have, in a sense, fulfilled that desire to express what I wanted to express. To a very large extent, I've fulfilled that desire. It seems, anyway. But also, one of the reasons why I've been making videos like this is to kind of dissect my beliefs via the tool of spontaneous expression. Just by intending to talk and to, in a sense, reflect as I'm expressing, just by expressing my ideas and stuff. And I call this channel Jasper Journals. A part of these videos is a journaling process. And why do journaling at all? Why do people journal? People journal because it's a way of introspection, and it's a way of finding out about the way that you work, the mechanics of your mind, and of how you create these beliefs and worldviews. And by seeing and then seeing patterns of your beliefs and worldviews, it helps uproot them and see that they're not true. And this is one of the reasons why I do these videos, because it is a helpful tool to do this kind of video journaling, to see clearly what, beliefs are running, and it just by expressing it and seeing it and introspecting and reflecting, that is the process of uprooting the beliefs. Like, just the understanding, just the introspection and the understanding of what beliefs and worldviews are running is the process of uprooting it, is the process of seeing it for what it is, if that makes any sense. So, in terms of that, like, doing this kind of journaling process is good to do, as long as there are still beliefs running, as long as I still believe in my beliefs and my worldviews, then this will be a good tool to use, There are lots of different ways in which I do this kind of video journaling. Like, there are ways in which I do, like, video journals where it's just kind of like, I don't know, just like, where it is just like a kind of journal. But there are also ones where it's kind of like, it has this kind of vibe where I'm like, giving advice or teaching or something. Lots of different ways that I've been using this over the years. I've been using this video format to give advice. I've been using it to journal, introspect in myself. Been using it to just express some emotion, to get it out there. Like, so many different ways. Like, just doing this is a interesting thing and a fun thing and a good thing, and it's developed over the years. When I started out, it was kind of like anything goes, and I would express. I would make videos when I was, feeling shit, and I don't really do that anymore. I only really do videos when I'm feeling okay or feeling good. I don't really make videos when I'm feeling shit anymore. Or, I don't know, like, sometimes I make videos if I'm feeling kind of frustrated or dissatisfied, but I don't know, man. Like, I suppose just like, when, like, you are kind of moody and frustrated and angry, you get your perceptions all twisted up, like, you don't, it's harder to see the truth when you're angry or whatever, or sad. I don't know, man. Anyway, so there's that. So what am I doing in life at the moment? What am I doing in life at the moment? I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't care as much as I used to. What I do find interesting is that these beliefs and expectations that I would place on myself, I've demolished a lot of them to a large extent. These cultural and social expectations. And, I see it in most people. Like, I see it in a lot of people. And it still exists within me to a certain degree. Because, it's been a big habit that's running me, like, I've been fucking brainwashed for the majority of my life, and I'm just, in a sense, beginning to unbrainwash myself and to disconnect and from this cold culture. I'm only really just beginning to leave this culture cult. So of course, I'm not fully free of it, but it seems like that I've started, and most people have not started and have no clue that they're even in a cult called culture and society, and have all these expectations. Like, the biggest expectation is like that you've got to be doing something and that you've got to be somebody. You got, and it is this, this society and this culture brainwashes you into brainwashes you into believing that you are inadequate, at the core, and that you have to do something or be something to not be inadequate. Most people would feel shit about themselves if they had no job, they had no hobbies, they had no friends, they had no money. If you had nothing, most people feel shit about themselves if they had nothing. People really only feel good about themselves if they got a job they love, they got friends, they got enough money, they got the items that they want, blah blah blah, all this kind of shit. Because they believe that at the core, they're not good enough. And that is just a social and cultural brainwasheriness. That's just that's what you've been brainwashed with. It's not true. It's a fabrication of the mind. It's your conditioning. And over these past few years, that's what I've been trying to break away from. And to a certain extent, I have succeeded. Because those don't run me as much as it used to. And I'm quite content with just lying in bed. And not feeling the need or pressure to do anything or to be somebody, to listen to what's inside of me, to listen to your own intuition. Sometimes my intuition says, go make a film, go for a run, hang out with friends, make some money, blah, 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 do all this shit. Sometimes it says, lay in bed for most of the day. And I'm not going to fucking feel guilty for that. I'm not going to feel I'm not going to feel pressured to do something or feel unworthy or inadequate for just lying in bed, because I'm listening to my intuition and what's actually, what's needed, ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? And maybe what you need is a run. Maybe what you need is to hang out with friends. Maybe what you need is to work on a project. But maybe what you need is a bath and to lay in bed for the whole day. And if you go against that intuition and you say, oh, I need to lay in bed for the whole day, but I can't do that because then who am I? I'm not going to do that. God damn, God forbid, am I going to fucking do that? I need to fucking work. And you work and work, you burn yourself out, you get ill, what have you. That's what happens when you go against what you actually need. Maybe you need a rest. And chances are you do need a rest because you've been fucking striving for so long. Most people have been, if you've been under these cultural and social pressures for so long, the chances are that what you need right now is a long, long rest. and to just not do anything, to be in solitude, and but I'm not going to put words into your mouth or brain or whatever. Like, again, ask yourself, what do you need? What do I need? What do I need now? Like, what do I need? When I say that, I'm not like, it's a thing about now. When I'm saying, like, what do I need, I'm not talking about, like, what do I need 5 years from now, what do I need 2 weeks from now. I'm talking about now. Maybe right now you need to have a nap. Maybe right now you need to have a bath. But then again, maybe right now you need to get the fuck out of bed and stop being so lazy and go for a run. You see, there's no clear cut um, strategy or step by step formula. Maybe what you need is to sleep. Maybe what in your bed, but maybe you need to get the fuck out of bed. You know. So anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. But all I'm saying is that it's so um, liberating to relinquish these expectations in your mind, these pressures, this pressure to do something, this pressure to be something. You don't have to succumb to it. Because ultimately it's not even real. Society and culture is not a real thing. It exists in the mind, and it exists in only your mind, because your mind is the only mind that you know. To say that, culture and society exists in everybody's mind is not doing anything about it. It's not taking responsibility and actually, doing anything about it. Like, to say that culture and society exists in everybody's mind and that we all have to break out of it is not facing the issue head on. Sure, you can say society and culture only exists in everybody's mind. It's not a real thing. But ultimately, you only know one mind. You only know your mind. And so you've the only mind that you need, the only mind that full of pressures and expectations that you've got to free yourself from is your own. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to help other people break out of their own mind if you haven't broken out of your own mind first. So anyway, I don't know. Now, I've talked a bit, not really, but I've talked about how, these expectations are, expectations to do something in the world and to be something in the world. And these are just not true, like, and you've got to listen to what you actually think. The trouble here is that you don't actually know what you think, because the majority of what you think is what you think is not what you think, but what other people think. You may think that um, you have to um, help make the world a better place, a more positive place. But did you come to that conclusion through yourself, through your own introspection, through your own questioning? Or has that just been something put onto you from other people, from other people? Like, because you may have this belief like, well, I can't just lie in bed for the whole day. I've got to be of some service to the world. I can't just like detach myself from society and be this recluse, because then what am I? I'm just this person that's avoiding the truth, and avoiding society and the fucked upness of society. I've got to I've got to be a fucking bearer of light and whatever. But did you come to that conclusion yourself? You see, because if you didn't, you may lie in bed for the whole day and judge yourself and have this, yeah, you have this judgment on yourself like, oh, like I'm not good enough, I'm lazy, but I should be out there doing stuff and helping and serving and whatever. But see, reality, life, doesn't care one way or another. That's your own projection. Life doesn't care if you serve the world or if you're selfish. Life doesn't care what you do. You're free to do anything. So that's your own expectation. Now, here's the thing, is that if you're actually free from all these expectations and this pressure and this judgment, if you're free from all that, then naturally what you are going to be doing is to be serving the world. But you can't imagine what that is going to look like. Life, that's going to be unique for every individual. And some days, maybe this, what you're going to be doing for the service and well-being of the world is going to be lying in bed for the whole day. Why? How is that even possible? Because maybe you need a rest. You know, and if you were to have some idea of what service is and what service is not, be like, well, lying in bed is not service. Going out and being kind to people is service. You see, that's your own construct of what it is. But if you surrender to life, life is naturally serving itself. If you understand what I mean, like it's like the best thing that you could do may be lying in bed all day. Like, if you kind of understand what I'm saying, like, but you see, that's not a belief. That is a letting go of belief. Anyway. So for these past few years, I have had a lot of thoughts about like how I am kind of selfish and how I am kind of cold-hearted, and I lack empathy and compassion and whatever. But really, like, like why I've had those thoughts is because I have been spending a lot of time in solitude and isolation. And so I've had these thoughts of like, oh, like it's, I could be out there helping or whatever. But the thing is that, most of my life I have been forced to do something that I never chose to do. Like school, you go to school and whatever, and like people are saying you got to get a job and you got to do this and that. So only for the past few years have I felt like I like these past few years has has been like, okay, I'm out of school. Now I can finally, to some extent, try and think for myself and whatever. And in order to do that, you have to spend a lot of time alone in solitude and isolation, and to introspect and reflect. Um, like it's like here's the thing: is that like a warrior or a soldier or whatever would not just like if there's a war and there's like a soldier would not just go out into the war to fight without having learnt how to fight. You know what I mean? Without like it's like with anything, like you need to you need to like you need to I don't know how to say it, like you need to practice before you can let go. And in terms of this, it's like you need to be you need to put yourself in isolation before you can go out into the world and be of actual service, you know what I mean? And this is what I've been doing. Like you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. That's what I'm trying to say here. Is that at the beginning stage you have to be selfish if you want to be selfless. That's how it goes. You have to focus on your own self and push away the world before you can enter the world again, you know, in the way that you want to enter it. Because you have to do the work, and the work is, in this case, you know, being alone and cultivating the kind of shit that you want. Like, you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. There are a lot of traps. There are a lot of um, there are a lot of self-deception mechanisms as well, which is hard. You could say, you could justify your solitude and isolation with all the shit that I've said, like, oh yeah, I've got to isolate myself from the world and be a recluse because I'm changing myself for the better. You could actually be doing that, or you could actually be using that as an excuse and a justification, um, because you actually are in pain, and you actually have trauma, and you don't actually want to face the world. You don't want to face people. And in my own experience, I have experienced both of these things. I have experienced the fact where, yes, I do actually need isolation to better myself before I enter back in the world. But I have also experienced myself bullshitting myself, where I've thought like, oh yes, I just need to isolate myself and whatever. When actually, it's probably been beneficial to not do that, and to expose myself to the world and whatever. So, the human mind is a fucking complex thing, and you ain't gonna get by in life without some amount of self-deception and bullshitting yourself. Like, I think that's just inevitable. It's a learning process, man. But anyway, there's some thoughts. So what am I doing in life right now? Well, what I'm focusing on at the moment, really, like, I'm trying to keep up a habit of meditation and working out. So I'm meditating at least an hour every day, and I'm working out 3 times a week. Been doing that for nearly 2 months now. I'm just trying to maintain a habit of doing that, ideally for the rest of my life. It's a good foundation to have. You've got a healthy body from working out and a healthy mind from meditating. So it's a good foundation to have. So I've just been trying to, develop a habit. That's really been my focus. And also, learning to drive and building out my van, because what I want to do is live the van life for a bit and see how that goes. So I'm still on my learner's license, probably like halfway through. And I'm like trying to build the interior of it so I can sleep in it and cook in it and stuff. I haven't been doing much work in it, but I haven't really had the motivation to do it. I get overwhelmed with that kind of stuff. There's a lot to think about. But that's kind of what I've been focusing on. That's what's happening in my life at the moment. And distraction is a big thing. Like the internet, fucking, the internet, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Like, well, is it? I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm stabbing myself. I don't know. The internet is good and bad, man. Like, it's very addictive. Internet, it's very addictive. I try and limit my use, but I go through phases where I'm just like, I cut it out fully, and then I'm like on it fully. I don't even know what I'm fucking doing on it. Just wasting time. Just fucking. I don't even know, man. Like, I've unfollowed everyone on Instagram. I've blocked my Facebook feed. I've blocked recommendations on YouTube. I try and like block these things, and and it has worked. Like comparing my internet use now compared to a few years ago, like it's it's a process. But ultimately, yeah, I like everything's good in moderation. Like, sometimes I go through these phases where like I've got to be fully healthy, cut out the internet, cut out junk food, stuff like this. But that's not sustainable either. Like, every now and again, I want to be able to have a fucking biscuit with a cup of tea. I want to be able to watch a YouTube video. Fucking have a alcoholic drink, smoke some weed. I want to be able to do that, but the thing is that I tend to have this addictive energy within me that sometimes grabs onto these things, eats a whole packet of biscuit, drinks a whole fucking bottle of vodka, smokes fucking joints every fucking day, watches YouTube every day. Sometimes that shit just happens, and that's the shit that I don't want to keep doing. Like, yeah, I want to be able to have a drink of vodka, I want to be able to smoke weed, have a biscuit, watch a YouTube video, but I want to be able to do that when I want to do it. Like, I want to be able to be aware of the intention and of why I want to do that. And it's very tricky because sometimes I'll think the intention is right. Like, oh yeah, I just want to do this because it's an experience. This is life. What else am I gonna fucking do? But I won't realize that intention is actually stemming from some kind of trauma, some kind of avoidance, some kind of addiction, some kind of pain, suffering. Sometimes it's hard to see that. Um, it's not so hard to see it when I've been so engulfed in these addictive things, when I've been on the internet for hours and hours on end, days and days on end. It's not hard to see when I intend to pick up my phone and scroll or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, obviously I'm avoiding myself. But, you know, the times where I cut out everything and then reintroduce it back into my life, I go on it and it's like, oh yeah, the intention there's good. And then I do it again, it's like, oh yeah, the intentions there good. Oh, but no. Little did you know, it's not. Somewhere there is hiding the intention stemming from avoidance or whatever, you know, from pain. So, you know, it's hard, man. Like, I just want to be able to fucking have a couple of biscuits with my tea without having to eat the whole fucking packet, you know. That's a process that I've been finding difficult, you know. Not just that, but that's one example, you know. So moderation, yeah, like something I've been struggling with like my whole life, man. Like moderation, yeah. So that's my life at the moment, really. Again, like what I was talking about earlier in this video of like social and cultural expectations. Like I think a lot of people have this big plan. Like, I mean, ultimately, I don't fucking know, but sometimes it seems like this way. That some people have like this future plan and this ideal self that they're trying to grow into. And what is now is not satisfactory, and, you know, somewhere in the future is going to be better than right now. A lot of people are, you know, working towards something. But I don't really have much of that. Like sometimes I have it more than others, but like than other times, but like it's now, man. Like, and you know, you could die at any second. like like life doesn't get better. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I mean, yeah, you can change your conditions for life into a better one, but ultimately, like, you're not going to change. You at the very fundamental level, it stays the same for your whole life. You know, who you are now is going to be who you are in 50 years' time. Nothing changes. You know, like who you really are doesn't change. You may gain more knowledge and more beliefs and more money and more effective and skillful personality traits and whatnot. You may gain on this, but that doesn't change who you are fundamentally. And ultimately, like, I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I think I've said enough in this video anyway. Ugh. So thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked it. I don't know, man. Just, you know, do what you want to do. That's all. Those are the words of wisdom. Do what you want to do. Nothing else needs to be said. Goodbye.